Sucker Punch is one of the most anticipated films of 2011. It's also one that I've been looking forward to since I first ever heard of it. I mean, like, so excited to watch. But does Zack Snyder deliver another brilliant film, or is this one worth just avoiding totally? Emily Browning plays Baby Doll, a young girl locked up in a mental asylum by her evil stepfather. She befriends 4 other girls in the asylum, among them Abbie Cornish, Jena Malone, Chung, and Vanessa Hudgens. When she enters the asylum, Baby Doll imagines it to be a brothel. Whenever she puts on a performance for her clients, she kind of gets lost in the music and enters this dream world of her creation. Soon enough, the other 4 girls join her in her dream world in their quest to be free, where they must find 5 items. Carla, Gugino and Scott Glenn also star within the movie. Now, after hyping up the film for so long, I have to admit, I was a little bit disappointed. But despite all of that, I did definitely still enjoy it. If you're going to go and watch this film, you need to get something into your head. Remember when you were a little kid and you'd kind of make up these crazy ass games you'd play with your friends, right? It didn't matter what happened within them, it didn't matter if it made sense, they were just fun as hell. That is the movie. That is what Baby Doll's mind creates, this place where nothing has to make sense. Remember, this is all in her head. And if you go in to watch Sucker Punch like that, you're probably going to enjoy the film. Although it's pretty much a given, the visuals of the film were fantastic. It stands as a massive mashup of comic books, manga, sci-fi and fantasy. It's just every kind of geek imagery thrown in together to create this just amazing looking film. A lot of camera angles also had a very graphic novel feel to them. That kind of thing personally I really enjoy from a film. Although she didn't have to do that much, I did like Emily Browning's acting. A lot of the lines she delivered felt very convincing and a lot of her facial expressions were really quite... There was a lot going on within them, you felt like she was in her character. And I definitely did end up caring about her forming a relationship and all of that. Oscar Isaac also made a really cool bad guy. By the end of the film I hated him, and that's exactly what the film wants you to do. I also love the general idea, this idea that you can create a world where anything is possible, you can escape the crapness of real life and just enter this place where you can do whatever the hell you want and be as powerful as you like. At times it was also very clever how actions within the fantasy world would relate to that in the real world. I can't give it away, but there's a bit that I found really impressive, I really liked. The moral, I think, was power that you can create within your head, within this dream world, can just as easily be gained in the real world. That's kind of the message I got from the film. Now, good points aside, I have to admit that some of the dialogue within the film was terrible. At one point the girls are about to go off and do this crazy ass mission. Scott Glenn kind of says, guys, stop for a second. I've got something really important to tell you. Don't write a check with your mouth that you can't cash with your ass. What? What does that mean? What? Even the girls in the film kind of look at him like, what the hell are you on about? I just didn't like him in the film. He felt really forced and he just got on my nerves, to be honest. And you guessed it, Vanessa Hudgens also really annoyed me. A lot of her acting felt really forced. Every time she opened her mouth to be like, just shut up, go away, they don't need you, you're just ruining it, go away. I said earlier that most of the dialogue was bad, but most of the actors could deliver it pretty convincingly. Vanessa Hudgens just... no, she just couldn't. It didn't work. I think there are almost too many characters. Maybe if Zack kind of downgraded to just 3 main girls, it would have worked a lot better. With 5 main characters, that's a lot of backstory to create, so they had to be very vague with their backstories, and thus you didn't really care about most of the girls. I cared about Baby Doll. That's the only person I really cared about, to be honest. Bit of a shock for me was that the fight scenes weren't even that great. The problem being that there was no real fear within them. You always knew in the back of your mind the girls were going to get out of it fine. They'd walk into a room and just take on everything in there. They wouldn't have a scratch on their body, and you knew whatever they were going to face, they'd be absolutely fine. So it kind of took away, there was no kick-ass amazingness, it was just kind of bang, 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 slice, 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 on to the next ones. Finally, the ending also wasn't very satisfying for me. It kind of ruins the rest of the film, to be honest. It's left a little bit ambiguous, but for me, in general, I would have liked to be kind of told what happens for sure. The ambiguity that's created leads to a bit of a negative atmosphere, I think. Sucker Punch visually is amazing. I enjoyed most of the acting and the general idea is just fantastic. I've always loved it. Where the movie fell down was in terms of the dialogue and the lack of real danger within the fight scenes. Sometimes it felt like the film was so determined to sucker punch you that it didn't think about the consequences of certain bits within it, certain scenes that would go on to have a very negative impact upon the closing of the narrative. I would give the film 7 out of 10. You do need to see this film just for the visual art style and just the general idea of it, the escaping to this crazy world that you create within your mind. I really enjoyed that. But don't go in thinking this is going to be a film that's going to change your life forever. Now, last week I asked you guys which was the better war movie, Black Hawk Down or Saving Private Ryan. You guys were all like, oh, Saving Private Ryan, it's amazing! And yeah, fair enough, I love the intro and I love the ending. It is a very good film. Sucker Punch was a mash-up of sci-fi and fantasy, but my question to you guys this video is, which is better, sci-fi or fantasy? Comment below. I'll see you guys again very soon for another review. Please subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching, guys. See ya. Will you see this in your